This is our Inny Outie quilt. We're asked all the time how we make these quilts, so I decided to do a little video on them. It's very similar to, remember those rag quilts that so many people made? It's similar to that because, and I'll get a close-up here before we're done so that you can see the frayed edges on this quilt. But we've made the quilt, we did it out of 10-inch squares, so it made a much bigger quilt than this. And we've done it out of 5-inch squares with this quilt. And it's a fun, easy quilt to make. You can use charm squares or layer cakes if you want to do it larger with the 10-inch square. It's an awesome summer quilt. Well, an anytime quilt. Terrific baby quilt because it is so soft and just, it's a very comfy quilt. So what we've got here is your background fabric, which in this quilt we've used Andover's texture fabrics because it does plump up so nice when it's washed, which is perfect because that's what you need with this quilt. You need, it's not done until it's washed. It doesn't show its beautiful self until it's washed. It's like a little kid with a dirty face, you know, you just can't tell they're adorable with that dirty face. Well, this, once it's washed, oh, it just looks great. Before that, it's really very boring. So we've got our Andover texture fabric and then our 5-inch squares, and I just picked, I think there was 5 different prints in these fabrics, and I just cut them into 5-inch squares. So very simple, and I'm going to show you how to do it. But remember, this quilt isn't done until it's washed. So I'll give you a close-up so you can see. See if you can see the frayed edges. There, can you see it? There's the frayed edges, and we quilted it with hearts in the middle. So it's just very soft, very cuddly, and we used 100% cotton batting in this quilt. So as I said, we call this the Inny Outie quilt. I'll show you how we did it. Whoop. Sorry guys. Okay, what you're going to want to start with is, this is our Andover's texture fabric, and you can see there's little nubbies in it, and it just plumps right up so nice when it's washed. So you're going to start with 5-inch squares of the texture or your background fabric. Now this fabric is in every single block. So if you have 50, I believe this quilt, 7x7, this quilt has 49 blocks in it. We did make this little one square. So you're going to need 49 5-inch squares of the white or your background fabric, which shows up in each block, whether it's an Inny block or an Outie block, this shows. Then you're going to need 5-inch squares of, now here I've got blue. We've done a little boy. We got to do a little girl. Oh, sorry, the other way around. We did the little girl. Now we're going to do a little boy. And if we have 49 blocks, then we need half of that in 5-inch squares, because out of every 5-inch square of your print fabric, you're going to get 2 blocks, one Inny and one Outie. So we've got a pile of different blues that I thought coordinated well together for our 5-inch squares. Now you're also going to need the easy circle cut ruler for this one, and this will take squares anywhere from 2 inches on up to 10. So you only need one ruler whether you're using 5-inch squares or 10-inch squares. This ruler will work. And you also want a smaller rotary cutter. This one is a 28. You want a smaller one. You can do it with your 45, but believe me, it is not as easy to do. So you want your 5-inch squares of your print fabric, your easy circle cut ruler, and a 28 rotary cutter. And all you're going to do with this is you're going to fold your 5-inch square in half, like that. Then right on your ruler it says fabric fold line. That is exactly where you're going to put that ruler. Now if you want, you can fold your fabric again and finger press so you can find the middle of your 5-inch square. With this, I can pretty much eyeball where the center of my square is. So we've laid our circle cut ruler down with the fold along the fold line. Now I have found that with a 5-inch square, if I tried it first cutting on the 4-inch, but my Outie, which I will show you once I cut, my Outie block did not have enough fabric. So I'm going to cut along the 3-inch finished circle. So you're going to put your rotary cutter into the groove of the 3-inch circle and just go right around like that. What I find when I use the 45, it quite often gets hung up right about there when I go to make that corner. So really, the 28 is much better because it just whips right around there. So we're going to take that away. And we're going to take our outside part of our 5-inch square. This is what I call an Outie block. And another 5-inch square, and this becomes our Inny block. So that's all you're going to do, is you're going to continue to cut Innies and Outies. It's very easy. So another 5-inch square, place it on the fold, the 3-inch finished circle. Oops, I missed that one. That's where it pays, I guess, to go over it twice. There. Another background. And now we have another Outie block. And this is a very forgiving block. So if you have a little bit of your background fabric extending past, that's okay, because it's all going to be taken up in the seam allowance. And then another Outie block. So now I'm going to show you how we're going to go about sewing these two blocks. Now I'm going to show you how to sew our Inny and Outie blocks. Very, very simple. So you take one of your background fabrics and your Inny or your Outie, whichever you prefer to start with, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to lay your print fabric on top of your background fabric, like that. I know I should pin, so I will pin for you guys. So you know I do it occasionally. So there's a pin. And here's a pin. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sew 1/4 inch on the inside of the raw edge of our print fabric. Okay, so we're going to go 1/4 inch inside the raw edge of our print fabric. I'm using my favorite thread, which is Aurifil. It's a 50 weight, but it's a very fine, it's a beautiful thread. Most times I use the 2600 color, which is a light gray, and in this case it's perfect because it'll blend in nicely with my light blue. So we're gonna put our presser foot and start 1/4 of an inch. This is a very forgiving quilt because it really doesn't have to be exact. So I guess it's my kind of quilt. I don't have to be perfect, which is what I love because I am not perfect. So we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch around there. It's very forgiving because of the raw edges. Because everything kind of disappears once it's gone through. Remember, I said that this quilt is not done until it's washed. So it's very forgiving because once it's done and washed, the background fabric plumps up, gets nice and soft, and your edges will fray. So as I said, it's pretty not very attractive at this point. So I've done that one. Now we're going to do the same thing with our Outie. We're going to put that on our background fabric. Put a couple pins in it. And sew. This time we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch on the inside of the raw edge of our print fabric. So we're just going to go right around this. I hope to get a large quilt done with the 10-inch squares, and I will pop that up either on my Facebook page or Pinterest or Instagram. You know, we're busy with all of those things now. We have a really active Pinterest board, so if you're ever looking for inspiration or, oh, you're just tired and you want to sit and do nothing, pop on our Pinterest boards and check them out because we do have a lot of interesting things on our Pinterest board. All right, so there's that one. There's the Outie. So that's all you do. You continue to put these together. Let me get the sewing machine out of the way so you can see. So we're just going to put these together just like this, alternating innies and outies, and sew those blocks together. So I'll show you that as I continue through with my little Inny and Outie quilt for an adorable little baby boy. Okay, now I've got the Inny and Outie quilt loaded on our long arm machine. And as you can see, it's not really very cute at this point. It's just the cottons, and you can see how I've left the edges, so they're going to ravel. Now all I'm going to do now is I'm going to quilt probably a straight stitch right around there because I'm new at this, and I'm going to try to do a heart or a little circle in the center. So once I get it quilted, then I'm going to bind it and throw it in the washer and dryer, and I'll be able to show you what it looks like when it's all done. It'll be a cute, comfy Inny and Outie quilt. I just love them. I think they're very cute. And it's given me the chance to be able to use our long arm machine, which is available to rent to our customers. So I'm going to have a lot of fun today. Now I've got the other little quilt done that I told you I was going to do. Finished it up last night. As you can see, this one I did in blue to coordinate for the little girls one. I had so much fun doing this, and as I said to you before, remember, the quilt's not done until it's gone through the washing machine. Makes it all soft and cuddly. So it's an awesome quilt, the little Inny and Outie quilt. This one I had a ball with this. I actually quilted it on our long arm rental machine. So I put it on the machine and I just had fun. I did little circles in the outies. In the innies, I did little hearts. So as you can see, the edges are all frayed and ruffly. This will, every time I wash it, it's going to fray a little bit more. I think the pink one frayed a little bit more than this one. This I threw in a bath towel with it. This one may have had some heavier or more clothes in it. This one I just had one bath towel in, so it didn't ravel quite as much. But anyway, that's the Inny and Outie quilt. Give us a call if you have any questions. It's a fun quilt to do, and we'll also be doing one up shortly in the 10-inch square, so you can pop into the shop and give that a look-see, and you'll be able to see one done with 10-inch squares. But it's a very fun quilt, the Inny and Outie quilt.